Bowie's story begins on the 8th of January, 1947. He was born to a poor construction worker and his wife in a small English village home to about 500 people. His World War II veteran father had severe PTSD, resulting in Bowie receiving nothing but neglect and abuse from his crazed father. His mother tried her best to nurture and raise young Bowie, until one day in a crazed PTSD episode, Bowie's father beat his mother to death. Bowie, after witnessing this, retrieved his father's double-barreled shotgun and proceeded to blow his father's head off. When Bowie was found at the scene of the crime by police officers investigating the commotion, he was seen on the ground, rocking back and forth, repeating the words, "I'm deranged," over and over again, until the police finally arrested him. Bowie spent most of his years in juvenile detention until his 17th birthday, where, in an escape, he strangled 3 guards and managed to free himself from the institution. In 1965, David Bowie was arrested after robbing a bank and killing 6 police officers during a car chase. He was offered counsel in prison by the psychiatric warden, which led to a trial later that year, resulting in him being drafted in the Vietnam War. 1966, a 19-year-old Bowie was captured behind enemy lines while executing a classified espionage mission, which resulted in months of torture at the hands of the Viet Cong. During his time captured by the Viet Cong, he was classified as KIA by the United States Armed Forces, and it was not until he was discovered by his fellow squad member, Vince Vaughn, that it was evident to the U.S. military Bowie was still alive. Vince and David had several allegations for suspected war crimes committed in Vietnam, but all the documented reports were destroyed along with witnesses going missing under impossible circumstances. After the war, the 2 men returned home to a country that despised them for serving in Vietnam, thus led to the birth of Bowie's music career. With David Bowie on vocals and a fellow war veteran, Robert Fripp, on guitar, along with his friend Bill Bruford, the band began playing small gigs. In 1973, the band started to gain an insanely large following, which continued to grow throughout the next 4 years, playing gigs in front of hundreds of millions of people. The most shocking moment in the band's existence was the I'm Deranged incident of 1975. During the performance of I'm Deranged, Bowie's psychotic urges let loose. David Bowie bashed a pregnant female fan to death by crushing her head with a 240-watt bass amp. After Bowie drew first blood, it was only a matter of time before the rest of the stadium crowd was completely massacred. David landed himself on the most wanted criminals list, and had an elite task force dedicated to his arrest. In 1976, the police forensic team found traces of Bowie's semen next to a sealed vinyl record with some kind of album artwork showing a gnome laughing. The forensic team took the record to the precinct and listened to it. All of the 18 forensic scientists began experiencing strange behavior after the incident, and less than a week later, each of the 18 scientists shot up separate preschools around the country. When questioned on why they did it, they just laughed and stated that the song made them do it. When the evidence locker was searched, the record had completely vanished, and there was no traces, as the security camera malfunctioned. In 1978, a naked David Bowie walked into a police department and surrendered himself. When he was interviewed by detectives, he kept singing the lyrics to I'm Deranged. He was sentenced to death by firing squad. Whilst he was being prepared to be shot 1 month later, he was dead silent and didn't say a word. When the men aimed their guns at him, the PA system was somehow hacked, resulting in the laughing gnome blaring at 179 decibels. The execution room security cameras malfunctioned, and David was never found. For the men executing him, they were found, disfigured, and vegetabilized. The investigation is currently ongoing, but as of this day, Bowie has not been seen since.